Okay, hello, hello. I'm back again to continue just doing swatches. I wish I was back to working on blankets, but I never finished the swatches. I'm at two and a half out of what, six? I also checked up on the delivery of when that yarn is supposed to be delivered for that special project, and it looks like it's like not gonna be here to the end of the month somehow. Also, I did not adjust the camera again. Or is it that I'm just not sitting back yet? Also, I finally figured out how to fix the issue I was having. Yeah, thank God. But it's so insane because I'm using Mac to adjust my camera settings. I have to open FaceTime, change the camera in FaceTime, and then I can go to a top bar and change things there. But I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I just shouldn't stand up straight because my head will get cut off. So yeah, gonna continue working on the swatches. Gonna continue watching that psychotic. What is it called? The flashback cut of Star Wars. And I forgot to plug in my spare phone so I could text while I stream. Let me do that now. I also, for the past couple of streams, have only been drinking water because I need to hydrate. But today I finally got myself an actual drink, not with alcohol in it, because I can't stream and I can't crochet and drink. When I play video games, I might have a drink or two. Not while I crochet because it's just all chaos breaks loose. I have no idea where my hook is, surprisingly. Also, before stream started, I fixed the number pad. I did. It was working. It was great. Um, I started stream on the BRB screen, and it instantly didn't. It stopped working. I'm probably gonna have to like figure out a troubleshoot for that. It might just be that the number pad I got. So if I had it work while I wasn't looking at the at Streamlabs, and then it didn't want to go back. I have no idea. Oh wait, it's going again. There's no rhyme or reason to when it works and when it doesn't work. Try that again. Can I get it to go back? Oh, there it goes. Okay. So there's evidence that this works and I'm not crazy and I'm not lying. I did get this to work at some point. I also have it. I can have the BRB screen. Wait, now it's working fine. I have no idea why it works sometimes and it doesn't work other times. Huh. Okay. Now if I could only find my crochet hook, I could potentially start crocheting. Yeah, so last time on the stream I was talking about how there's a lot of like fan made. Where is my crochet hook? Watch orders for Star Wars. I don't know if I turned the AC on. And so I wanted to rewatch because I just finished watching The Acolyte. Here it is. And I had a lot of fairly strong opinions on The Acolyte. And so if no one comes into chat, I will just silently sit here, aggressively have a breakdown while I work on these swatches because I still don't know what this is going to look like, and I can't figure that out until I get the new stuff. And watching, I can't check 'cause the phone's dead, but I'm pretty sure I'm on. I think I have it in my messages on my computer. I'm also so warm. I had a fairly laid back day at work, and so I got home early and I like laid out in the sun for a bit. And because I'm vitamin D deficient, and I do like being out in the sun. Uh, but it's also like good for my health. But I also, ever since I was a kid, I would get sunsick. Um, which is weird because so I get sick in the sun, but I also get sick if I don't go in the sun. It's I'm like a Victorian child. If you look at me wrong, I will uh get sick and die. It's very fun in a horrific way. So I assuming that's what it was, but I laid out in the sun and then I was like, why am I tired? For the past like 2 hours, I've been like fighting to stay awake. But also the reason why I'm enjoying laying out in the sun is because it wears out Pugsley. Thank God. Also, I should grab Vinny while Pugsley's not watching. 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta get the prints. I haven't decided if I want to let Pugsley in. Like I was saying, one of the benefits to I should try. Okay, I'm gonna let him in. If he doesn't calm down in like 5 minutes, I'm gonna walk him back out. He's just so energetic, and he literally bounces off of everything that it's kind of a huge pain in the ass to let him in here while I stream. Ugh. All right, you gotta chill out. Just nope, sit in your spot. Nope, leave him alone. Go to your spot. Nope, just sit and chill. Sit. Hey, no, no, no. Sit. Don't get your fur in my drink. All right. Just be chill. Be chill, dude. Okay, so I was saying, nope. You got 5 minutes to chill out, or you're gonna have to chill out on your own. Yeah. One of the benefits to like just sitting outside for like an hour and a half is that this wild child over here, usually when we come inside, even if I'm not playing with him, but I just sit outside with him for a while, he'll knock out when we come back inside. He'll be like really sleepy, which is cool. But then today it had the negative effect of also making me really sleepy. So being productive in that moment kind of went out the window. But I still managed to get to stream. I need to finish these swatches so I can get back to making that blanket for my friend. So I want to ship that to him sooner rather than later. Um, Also, all day today I've had that damn 911, not 911, rookie Daddy Cop song stuck in my head, which is crazy because I don't even watch the rookie. I just happen to be chronically online and queer, so. But while I was setting up stream, I just could not stop singing the words to that song. Also, the other reason why he's not allowed in this room a lot of the time is because this is where I go to like dissociate after a long day, and he rubs his toys against me, and like he'll get them all slobbery, and then he'll just rub them on me, and I usually come in here after I shower, and I just need some quiet like dissociation time, and it never fails. Whenever I shower and sit in here, he then wants to rub his slobbery toys all over me. Love him. I love him to death. I recently rescued him, and we've gotten, you know, we've made a lot of progress on him being in the household, like what that looks like. But I still, I'm not used to having a hyper dog. I'm used to my chill dog. No, you hump me. I swear to God. He's also like not fixed, which is like a thing. Um, so he's a he's a little goblin, but or gremlin, not goblin, but I'll keep him. originally when I rescued him, I was trying to find his original owners or someone who wanted to adopt him, but he fell in love with Benny here so aggressively that I felt bad getting rid of him. I also always wanted a pug, so I also have to assume that the second swatch that I'm gonna make is gonna be uh, twice as fast as this one. So I'm not gonna have to be switching colors every row. I want to play. I don't want to play. Ugly. Jesus Christ. Ugh. He's definitely one of those dogs that feels like a wild child. It's just been released into my home. Kid, are you serious? Here. No. No. Go away. No. You have to. You don't give me my personal space. I'm gonna kick you out. I already warned you. Oh my god. Pugsley, chill. And his fur gets everywhere. Whenever I'm working on my friend's blanket, he's not allowed in here because his fur just sheds off of him so aggressively. I'm wearing really light colors right now, but I usually only wear black, and it creates. I have to have so many lint rollers around. Chicken. Oh, thanks for the follow. Is that Bear Bear, Texas? Thank you, thank you. I made it myself in the old-fashioned punk way of having a chip go to Home Depot. I forgot the word for a second. Well, thank you for the sub. How are you? What are you up to? Do you have strong opinions of Star Wars? Pugsley. Hey, I also just got back from a nap. It was a nap that I took against my will. So I think it was only like maybe 30 minutes, but hey, I napped and then I had a shower because I had bedhead from my nap. So, which I was gonna wear a hat anyway, so maybe that wasn't fully necessary. I think that was just for my own peace of mind. But I always feel the need to shower to feel, you know, put together. Strong opinions, not like these people. What? Strong opinions, not like these people. Uh, I mean, the thing about Star Wars is it's like for such a benign movie franchise and franchise as a whole, a lot of people either really love it or really hate it. And then amongst the people who really love it, there's always like a lot of really strong like opinions on like what is good, what is bad, what's fine, what's wrong, in a way that I've always found like really silly as someone who's grown up liking the fan base. And usually my opinions are usually just defending uh the franchise as a whole, except for I I heard something and I was never able to unhear it. That was the prequel trilogy was a for some reason became a love story about Anakin and Padme when it should have been a bromance story about Anakin and Obi-Wan, so that betrayal felt more heartbreaking. And I ever since I heard that, I'm like, yeah, that does feel like a really weird missed opportunity. But I was a kid when those movies came out in theaters, so I do like them, and I find people who hate them silly. Dude, that's like a weird thing about the Star Wars fan base, where a lot of people just hate it because they think the trilogy that came out when they were young is correct and everything else is stupid. And I'm like, no, they were always meant to be for kids, and they're always meant to be a samurai story in space. Everybody needs to chill out. I joined my Discord and this straight homies were talking about uh the supposed forced push of Rey. I don't know, I haven't seen those movies. I love the old movies though and the Clone Wars. Okay, so hear me out. I was in college when The Force Awakens came out and I was so excited. I also at the time had a crush on Oscar Isaac, and he looked really fucking hot in those movies. Um, and then The Force Awakens, I think, was really good, and then the other two were not good. They're the only two. No, those two movies in Solo are the only ones that I'm like, eh. I don't. Okay, but they're also good in a vacuum. If you watch the second one and the third one of the third trilogy, they're fine. The second one in particular was like pretty good. The first one's good because it feels very much like a fan letter to Star Wars. The second one's good because it feels like a military movie, um, in like a really good way. Um, the third one is a mess in a way that I cannot defend. Um, I'm also watching a New Hope for the first time in a long time, and I'm realizing how many characters are just like references to this throughout the franchise. I didn't realize Darth Vader had a little pale ginger boy following him around in this opening scene. Also, did not remember how much of this movie is ADR. Also, something that I recently watched about a year and a half ago that I absolutely fell in love with was I watched all the original of the Planet of the Apes movies. The first one is a classic for a reason. The second one, nobody talks about. It's great. It's campy. It's crazy. And then the third one, oh, that one was for the gays. There's no way that movie was not for the gays. They go on a shopping spree at one point, and the ape is just like, "Look at my clothes." It does that exact pose, and I truly the entire time I'm like, "This is great." Until you get to the ending, and the ending's crazy for a different reason. Can I help you? Do you want me to pick up your toy? Is that it? I'll pick up your toy. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. That's what you want? Put that right there. Stop. Play with yourself. You're fine. You see how Fitty just chills here and lets me do my thing? No, just you're fine. You had all day to play with me. You did not want to play with me. Now that I'm trying to do my own thing, now it's time to play. There you go. Okay, gotta switch colors again to Pugsley. Chill. I'm gonna have to lock you out, but if you don't chill, I have to use both my hands. That fucking bots. Is that the baby injured? Oh, are you talking about the Planet of the Apes ending? Yeah. That is the that is the ending with the baby. There's also that switcheroo that's like, I get why they did it, but also kind of not okay. Because, like, what was the plan? Like, it's, that movie is crazy. I love it though, but it's wild. I bought them. I recently have been building up a VHS collection, and that was one of the first ones I bought. Was the second and third Planet of the Apes movies. Also, it is really one of those things of like I didn't watch it, but there's a video that I saw in my recommend. What are you doing? Why are you just keeping your hands on my knee like that? There's a video about like everyone's hot, no one's attractive anymore or something was the video. And I didn't watch it, but I agree. This is a rant that's been going on for a while. Watching classic movies, you like people used to just look human, and their version of like buff was just like normal bodies, um, in a way that like doesn't really exist anymore. And when you go back and you watch like the second movie, is just a hot guy, just like well, technically both of those movies. I prefer the second one. Both of those movies are just hot guy in a desert, walking through multiple like going on walk montages that last a pretty long time. They also those are a good movie of like a good example of movies that show how we as a society don't have any patience for anything anymore. Because a lot of those movies are just let's go on a walk, and like now, if the story isn't progressing, like 2 or 3 beats every minute, then people get bored. And like I also what is that term for like Netflix plot where or Netflix dialogue where the characters have to explain the plot to the viewer 2 or 3 times while the plot is happening? I call it the iced tea and Law and Order. Yeah. So okay. I I've never watched Law and Order, but I'm currently binge watching Rick and Morty again because I forget how much happens in that show. And all I think about now when I think about Ice T is Ice T's character in Rick and Morty. Yeah, I like how you at least try to be smooth with it that time, but you're still. I swear to God, if you put this in your mouth, you're getting kicked out. You're getting kicked out. Okay? The moment this goes in your mouth, you're getting kicked out. You understand? No. Kid, give me personal space. I also like I don't under I'm so curious to know where this dog came from. Because I literally found him in front of my street. But he instantly was like, "Oh, so we're gonna cuddle, yeah? I'm gonna sleep in your arms in the bed." No, Pugsley, I'm not playing with you. If you can't behave, you're gonna get kicked out. Oh my god, this I'm watching the the CGI in Star Wars that they added to it to make it look bad, I guess. I don't know. Why do they add these CGI characters? They're stormtroopers on like these aliens that are just not needed. What are they trying to explain? How they got there in the desert? Oh my god, the amount of spit you're putting on me. Just chill. Sit down. Sit. I'm so sorry. You're just if I don't kick him out, you're just gonna hear me screaming about this dog. Um, he'll be like, "This guy's a sex addict. You mean to tell me he's a sex addict, or he's addicted to sex?" And it's like, yeah, That's what that means. Good job. Oh yeah, I have seen a compilation on TikTok of him just being like, um, I think the example that I saw was like, huh, matricide. And he's like, matricide, that means you killed your mom. And everyone just looks at him like, yeah, we're all professionals, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, that was a mistake. He's gonna get all on the yarn. No, no, no. I know how he got into my house. I don't know where he came from. He showed up in front of my house, and I took him off the street because there's a gang of wild dogs that go up and down my street terrorizing people, and I was scared that he was gonna get attacked if I didn't help him. So I brought him into my house while I looked for whoever owned him. I took him to go see if he had a chip, and I put a lot of work into like just trying to find a home for him, but I don't know where he came from. And from the moment he came into my house, he was like, "Hey, you're my dad now. You're gonna hold me while I sleep." So like he had to be with somebody because he got way too comfortable crawling into my bed. So I don't know. Pugsley, I'm sorry, bud. I know you're gonna cry, but you can't. I'm gonna have to lock you out. No. Okay, sorry. I can't focus. I have to. I'll be right back. I have to kick this kid out. Half of this stream has, instead of me crocheting or watching this movie, is just wrestling this dog. Okay, I've done, I think, 4 rows since the stream started, so hopefully I could double that within. Yeah, but it's already been 30 minutes. I should have been way farther than that. My dog literally walked into my garage the very last night we spent at our house, which happens to be Halloween. So I named him Sam because of Trick or Treat, my favorite Halloween movie. That's cool. Yeah, that's how I got this one. He almost got hit by a dog. Hit by a dog. Almost got hit by a car in front of my family home, and I freaked out. And I told him to come here, so he didn't get like hit while I was working in my yard. And then he's never left my side ever again. This one's Vinny. That's this guy right here. The other one is Pugsley. Um, which everyone gives me shit for. They're like, huh, that's real original. I was like, I've never met a pug named Pugsley, and if you spend time with him, you realize that he's kind of dumb but also smart, like that character Pugsley from the Addams Family. So I don't know why I get so much shit for naming him. I think it's a clever name. Sure, it's a little bit punny, but I think it's great. So this one's Vincent John Coronado, and then Pugsley is Pugsley Alexander Coronado. And when I call Vincent by his full name, he does in fact know that I'm upset, which is really funny. My mom was taking care of him once, and she couldn't get him to come inside from the backyard. And I was like, just call him by his full name. And she thought I was kidding, and she called him by his full name, and he came running inside. I was like, there you go. You just need to call him by his full name. But this one right here is my ride or die. We're a little too codependently attached, but it's fine. Wait, Luke's parents die, right? Isn't that what like sets him on his journey? Even though they're not his parents, it's his uncle. But I, for, I forgot how much about this movie I don't remember. Even though I've seen it like 1,000 times. Kid, you're still allowed to walk free in the house. If you start crying, you're gonna get locked in the living room. No. I was trying to be nice. I'm letting him stay uh free, but if he continues to cry, I'm gonna have to get up again and lock him in the living room. He usually like will chill out and instantly go to sleep if I put him in there. He's not gonna give me a break. Okay, also, how much of this do I have left? I think I'm just gonna stop here and start the next one, because I think I have enough done that I have an idea of what I'm doing. And I'm finding the switching on such a short swatch fairly frustrating. Pugsley, chill, buddy. Chill. He's not making me get up again. Yeah, man. Okay. Like I said, I'm not feeling really good, and so this dog's gonna give me a migraine if I don't get up and put him up. I'll be right back. Yeah, the thing about Pugsley is that his barks are somehow both deep and high pitched at the same time, and instantly just fry my brain. No, I haven't played Valorant. I haven't done a lot of how do I say, like, a lot of like multiplayer games, except for uh maybe like 2 years ago I got really into Fortnite, and that's kind of stuck until last season. I finally got off of it. Um, you're bad at what? Valorant? Five, Sorry, I was trying to focus on getting this started. Once I get started, it's a lot easier to multitask. Um, I'm getting back on it for the first time this year, and my friend's probably gonna flame me. Getting back onto Valorant, it's fairly new, right? It's only a couple years old. Or are you talking about Fortnite? What's about her kid? Oh shoot, I'm gonna change colors. forgot what a wimp C-3PO is. Okay, so yeah, this is a lot easier than this one is already. Because I'm not switching as much, so I'm already going a lot faster with this swatch. I still don't know which one I'm gonna go with until I get the yarn that I need. But I think I like the look of this one, but I don't know how that's gonna translate. So it might be in reality, it might be more like this. And I'm hoping with the breakup of that other component, it will look like this one. I have no idea. But I don't know. I usually don't do swatches, but because this project is going to be complicated and the other yarn that I'm using for the base of this is going to be so expensive, I feel like I have to plan to make sure I get it right. Why did they add so many random CGI like bits to this movie? mistake. Okay. I'm watching New Hope, I believe, the first Star Wars. Did I say what did I say? New Hope, first Star Wars. Okay, in my memory, that instantly got jumbled, and I thought I said I'm watching the new Star Wars. I I don't know what happened. My brain instantly just rearranged everything I said. I had to really think about it for a second. But yeah, it's the one on Disney Plus that has all the added stuff to it that they did after the prequel trilogy. And it always takes me out of it when I'm like, what the hell is that? Because I used to watch these on VHS as a kid, so I don't. It's weird seeing all this like added stuff to it. And then I'm also realizing I've seen these 1,000 times, but I don't think I've seen them in the past 5 years. So no, that's not true. Maybe I did see that. No, maybe that was 5 years ago. I had a friend who hadn't seen any of them, so I showed it to her, and I want to say we watched the CGI ones that we were just like, what? The entire time I'm just like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, it's weird. And then I think I've absorbed so much media that I just don't remember it. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Uh, I I find that when I'm crocheting and someone starts messaging me, it just very much becomes a jumbly train of thought. But there's some of these scenes like, okay, so I'm watching a scene right now where Han is talking to Jabba the Hutt about like um him needing more time, and it's Jabba's CGI the entire time, and I don't remember what this scene originally looked like or if this was a deleted scene or not. It's so weird. Like, what was that before? So I didn't remember Han Solo having this much of his chest out like that with that tight little shirt. I guess that makes sense on like why there's like a whole generation of women that were like obsessed with him. But it looks really funny where he's just like puffing his chest out and his top is just like struggling. It's also like really funny that once you point out that like Luke is just wearing like khaki pants, it's you can't not unsee it that it's just regular like khaki pants that are just like tucked into boots. Yeah, this is definitely a lot easier to do than what I was doing before. I am grateful that I decided to stop working on the other one and switch so that I could actually make some progression today on stream. Also, what time is it? I didn't realize I was streaming this. It's already been an hour and a half. What is a work day? Although, because they're doing some construction on my office, I can probably take my time to go in. Oh, Valorant. Okay, so that is what your friends are making you play. I've never tried it. It's not a hero shooter, right? It's just like a regular. It's a little bit closer to Call of Duty, right? From what I understand, it's somewhere in between a hero shooter and something a little bit more classic. Oh, it is a hero shooter. Okay, then I have no point of reference for Valorant except for uh people talking about it in podcasts that I listen to. Hey, I take offense to that. I was a Warp Tour kid. um, it's like a mix of Overwatch with where's more. I am potentially planning a couple of trips in a couple of months, and so I I need to save up my days off. But honestly, I think I might do a trip to go work a bar in a different country for a weekend, which is an offer that I just got. Um, so apparently that is I might take a day or two off so I could go that Friday and not worry about that Monday. And then while I'm out there, I'm gonna plan a vacation to actually go out there and be a vacation kid. So was I. I just couldn't afford to actually. I think I only went once. I went to another music festival, but I couldn't even tell you what it was. But I went to Warp Tour, I think 2012, 2013, and I historically at that point in my life never sunburned. I could like stay in the sun all the time. I wouldn't burn. I would just like change colors. Like my skin darkened, but it would also just like change color tones. But I was so dehydrated that that was the first time I really sunburned was Warp Tour. The tops of my shoulders were like really fucked up. And my face wasn't too bad, but it was mostly just like the top of my shoulders and like the tip of my nose, and my eyes hurt really bad. And I went to a doctor like a couple weeks later, and he told me that I sunburned the white of my eyes. And ever since then, they've been really sensitive to sunlight. Um, And like what's funny is like I don't sunburn. I've never sunburned, but I do get really sunsick. And like if I go to the beach whenever I was a kid, I haven't tested this out. I probably still do, but whenever I was a kid, if I went to the beach or if I spent a day too much in like sunlight, the following day I would get like really sick and I would just like spend the next 48 hours in bed very dramatically. Um I survived Warp Tour. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. And my eyes were red for I think a month and a half. And my mom kept making jokes that I looked like a stoner because my eyes were always just red, red, red. And she was like, "I hope you don't get kicked out." She kept making like a lot of weird jokes, like, "I hope you don't get kicked out of your school because I think you're high." And I'm like, "Okay, why?" But I was also just um, I was such a dorky rule follower when I was a kid that like it was I don't know. It was a weird bit that my mom was doing for a while. Excellent camo. Oh, you talking about the blanket that's behind me? That's also crochet. um, and it's not finished, but I can't afford that yarn. That yarn was crazy expensive. Um, and yeah, but it's cool. It's such a thick, weighted yarn that it feels like a heavy. It feels like a weighted blanket. It's pretty cool. Okay, how much faster am I doing this? This took a couple hours. I already have this one's significantly easier and faster. I've already almost doubled my work in just a few minutes working on this one. Well, I was about to say, were you actually high though? No, I I didn't smoke. I was okay. I'm neurospicy. I probably was undiagnosed OCD. I was diagnosed ADD and a couple of other things, dyslexic, dysgraphic, um, and something that I can never fucking remember. Um, and so I was always like a real weird nerd. I didn't smoke weed until I was 25, and even now, I don't smoke that much. I prefer alcohol, and then when I do get high, I do like to crossfade. Um, and I don't know. I also like I'm really weird. I always get into fights with people because I prefer gummies over like actually like smoking. And everyone always wants to say that I'm wrong. I'm just like, no, I really love an edible. I love an edible. I'm probably on the spectrum somewhere, but at this point, I'm still high functioning. High functioning or masking, or is that the same thing? I love an edible. I especially because like I used to get a lot of my edibles from California, and whenever my work travels, I'll buy some. I I keep saying that there's all these like websites where you can like supposedly like order stuff online, but I don't. I'm broke, and two, I don't care enough to get high to order some. Every now and then I'll wild out. Like my ex boyfriend used to like always talk shit because when I do get high, I usually it's like I usually would do it like on a Friday where I would like test it out, figure out what it is that I like and like figure out my levels again and what it feels like. And then Saturday I would get high again because now I know what it is I'm doing and I would plan an activity for myself. And then maybe like one day the next week I'll do it again. And then he would always make comments like, "Is everything okay? You're getting high a lot." I was like, "Yeah, no, I I never do it. When I do it, I want to do it a couple of times so that I can kind of get a grasp over exactly what I'm doing." I don't know. I don't know if that's a normal thing or if that is weird, but like he would always talk shit whenever I would get high, which is annoying because like all of his friends were like, I'm not gonna say anything, but you know what I mean. It was, why was I getting shit when all your friends are always high? Um, I can't get high like 3 times in a row, once every 6 months. I don't know. Let's see. Gummies are easy and they don't smell and they're cheaper over time. Yeah. Agreed. 100% agreed. That's my main thing. I don't like the smell. And okay, I hate the smell. And here's the thing, if I smoke, it gets in my throat. And so for the entire time I'm high, I'm just thinking about my throat. In addition to that, I know exactly my measurement for gummies and I know how to time it out and I plan to just have a nice chill time. And to me, when I take gummies, it doesn't take it doesn't feel like the high is that long. It just is what it is, and then it's over. Whenever I smoke, it feels like it starts off fast and then it lasts forever. And everyone always says the opposite. They're like, "Oh, if you smoke, it like gets into your system and then it goes away very fast." Versus like gummies, they're like, "Oh, it's all you're gonna be high all day." No, that is not. That is not my experience. My experience is like I take a gummy, I'm high for a couple of hours, and then like I slowly come down. I go up nice and smooth, and I come down nice and smooth, and I like plan for that, and I know exactly what my dose is, so I can just be high enough that things are entertaining, but not fall asleep. Versus like when I smoke, it's too much. I can't control it, and then like I often like just want to go to bed. And my throat hurts the entire time. Um, yeah, no, smoking's not for me. I uh do love picking up nicotine, getting mildly addicted, and then quitting. Right now, I'm in a quitting phase, which means I only get nicotine when I bum from my friends' vapes. And if I ever go to numbers, I always have to. I say whenever I go to numbers, if I go out at any point, if I am out drinking, I always have to play who has a cigarette and see like who will give me a cigarette. And it's funny because like I used to have friends who used to like get really annoyed, and everyone who used to be really annoyed by me playing that game now loves that I play that game, and they love how quickly I can assess who's gonna give me a cigarette. And we've talked about all wearing shirts that say under no circumstances give me a cigarette and seeing who can get a cigarette first. And I I that just sounds really funny to me. Of going to a bar wearing a shirt that says under no circumstances give me a cigarette and just seeing how long it takes me to either get a cigarette or if I can even get one. I also have asthma. I don't smoke that much. um, Give me somewhere like a 4 hour. Yeah. Okay. Let me catch up. Sorry. That's my thing. I don't almost never got just the right amount of high. I either get way up there or I get crossfaded. That's me when I smoke. So with gummies, I do usually I get like 10 milligram gummies and I take half, so five, and then if I'm consistently getting high, which haven't done in like maybe 3 years, so maybe this math isn't the same. I can work up to 10 and I'll be fine. Um, Weed makes me sleepy too. I just can't. I can't. I got asthma, thank God, because cigarettes get expensive. I I only smoke um, actual cigarettes. Um, if um, if I'm out dancing or if I go to like the neighborhood, which I haven't gone to the neighborhood since I worked there. I I have a really hard time going back for a lot of reasons. Um, one, my exes are always there. And two, I used to work at one, and I worked at a gay bar, and um, that soured my experience with a lot of the Houston gay bars because they're kind of nightmare fuel. Uh, I used to work at Ripcord when it used to be cool. Um, well, I say that because I tend to be a little bit grungy. I love grungy bars. I love a grungy aesthetic, and they used to be really cool in my opinion. And now they're just what JR's 2.0, or I guess Eagle 2.0, which is not even Eagle anymore. Yeah, I worked there. I think now 6 years ago. I worked there in 2019, and they used to be cool right before I started working there. And as I started working there, there was a new general manager that was trying to like, ooh, I supposed to switch. Oh, no, I'm right. There's a new general manager that was trying to make them like everybody else, and he succeeded. And then he left. But also, that general manager sucks. I became like friends with him for like a short period of time. He got me the job as soon as I started working there. Never fucking had my back. Never had my back. And like shit went down, and I had to talk to like his boss, and his boss was like, "Ooh, we should do something about this thing that happened." And the the GM was like, um, "No, we should." And I can't go into details about it, but not on stream. But they're all trash. They're trash. And what really pisses me off and why I can't stand going back anymore is because they would always go like give these speeches about how like we're all community, we're blah blah blah. No, I have stories about them. They don't give a fuck about anyone who walks in those doors. They don't care about the queer community. There are people who do care about the queer community that work with the bars, but last time I heard, they pushed a lot of those groups out, and they don't give a fuck. They they don't care. They don't care. I've seen so many things. They were platforming someone who I know for a fact sexually assaulted multiple people, and they I know for a fact the management knows, and I messaged them after I left like, "Hey, just so y'all know, I'm pretty sure management knows, but this guy is a bad person and has assaulted multiple people through the neighborhood at multiple bars, and like it's everybody knows, everybody talks about it, but everyone like pretends like it didn't. Everyone who works at the bars knows. The actual like community doesn't for some reason. Um, and um, I messaged them and they ignored it. And he continued to do multiple events at Ripcord, and I think just Ripcord, but he could have done it at another bar too. Um, and I messaged them again like a few years later, being like, "Why are y'all still helping support this man? He's a horrible person. This looks really bad." While you're talking, I think one of them was a pride fundraiser or something, and I was like, "Why is this the guy that y'all have for? What are y'all doing?" He's not even that like he's not like a local celebrity. He's not he's not famous. He's not even that hot. What are y'all doing? This doesn't make any fucking sense. I truly I'll stick to numbers. I fucking love numbers, and numbers used to be considered a queer bar. I would rather, and to a certain extent, it is sometimes, but the straight 20-something-year-olds are like kind of ruining it. But I would still rather celebrate Pride at numbers than the neighborhood most times. I think the only time I ever go to the neighborhood now is for Pride. Although one of my friends really wants me to start going back just so I could meet people again. And he's like, I'll sponsor it. I'll pay you to go walk around the gay bars in the neighborhood and just talk to people. That being said, I that's not true. There is a gay bar that I go to a lot. I've gone to maybe like unironic or kind of ironically and then kind of not ironically 5 times a year, and that's Michael's Corner Pocket. I don't no, did I just mix up two names? It's Tony's Corner Pocket. I go to Michael's Outpost, which for some reason I always get those names mixed up. I go to Michael's Outpost a lot, and every single time me and my friend, who's a queer woman, go to that bar, she never wants to go with me, and then she always gets wasted, and I'm always apologizing to like the bartender by the end of the night, and we always end up making friends with like 5 different people whenever we go there. Um, and it's always a great time. We for some reason that has been the place that we go to on holidays. We went New Year's, we went on Halloween twice. Um, I think we went once just because. What other holiday was it? Like St. Patrick's Day or something? We just keep ending up there on holidays for some reason. I used to live walking distance from there, and it was just like a fun place to just end up. I used to live right down the street from I used to live off of Montrose, but not in like the neighborhood. I was down the street from the art museum, and so there's a few places that I could walk to. Um, but I we always just ended up there on fucking holidays. Um, oh yeah, I'll tell you who. Um, that's at home during Pride and Halloween. Oh wait, hold on. That's an interesting thing. Okay, so you're saying you've never had a less fun time being queer. Pride, I can kind of understand. The vibe in Montrose during Pride is hit or miss. You have to have like a really good group of friends. Never have, so I can relate. And that's the time that if you've been dating in Houston long enough, everyone always wants to make an appearance during Pride, and I I also I have a lot of people who very much dislike me because I'm a little neurospicy. I say what's on my mind. I'm also not good at playing the game, that weird like faking thing where people are just like really petty and kind of talk shit, but they're doing it in a polite way. I've never been good at that, and I'm really good at hiding my expression on my face. And so because of that, I've made like a weird amount of like people who don't like. I wouldn't call them enemies, but there's a group of people who don't like me. And so Pride is a nightmare because I have either people coming up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, where have you been? You haven't been in the gay bars anymore." Blah blah blah, or "Oh, hi," and I'm just like, "Okay, hi." Or like exes who will like avoid me like the plague, clearly clocking me and being like, I don't want to talk to him. I cheated on him. There's one in particular, not my last ex, who's also a whole thing, who was also another reason not to go out. But the one before him, I always saw him out and about with a guy that he cheated on me with. Um, because they're like together, and I think they bought a house together, and so like they're always like out during like Pride and shit. So it's just but Halloween, you have to explain why you don't like going out on Halloween. Halloween's my favorite holiday, so I always want to go out and do things. Sometimes I do want to just stay in and have like times with my friends and just like watching movies and drinking at home. But then I think the last two Halloweens I spent at Numbers, and that was great. I haven't done it in a long time. I think I did I work at Ripcord during a Halloween? God, that was a lifetime ago. I don't remember. Um, and my last Halloween was fairly traumatic. Wait, was that? That was two Halloweens ago. Jesus, my life the past 2 years have been insane. Like all the gays, all the straights, all the protesters, the crowds. Oh, so that's the thing. So I did um Halloween at Numbers. I thought like that would be a really cool, fun place to do. The line wrapped around the building, and my my friend, she's really crazy. Her name is Sarah. She's a ride or die. We've bonded through trauma and uh creating a friend to enemy kind of thing, that we both were dealing with someone who was a I don't know if I would call them a narcissist. They're a narcissist. They have really bad main character syndrome, and she was the kind of person that like um didn't want any of her friends to be friends with anybody else, but wanted them all to introduce them all to each other. And so she introduced me and Sarah together, and we instantly like bonded. And then she went crazy, was treating us both kind of shitty. And then when we became friends with each other, because I invited her to something, and she invited Sarah. She then didn't go, and then Sarah went, and then we became really good friends. She got really mad at us for becoming friends. And I was just like, you wanted me to be friends with her, but you didn't want me to be friends with her. I don't understand. Um, but we've bonded through that, and then we both had like crazy shit happen to us after that, that we then bonded about. Um, but she's really wild when we go out, and we approach the bar. She's like, "I'm not doing this." She went like halfway, so there was like it went all the way around. She went towards the end of the line, the first corner. She spotted someone, and she's like, "I'll give whoever lets me and my friends skip the line $20." And this guy was like, "You can come join with us," and she was like, "Here's your money," and we just like jumped in the line with them. He was like, either like, "Yeah, you can skip us." Um, like, I like Halloween more than my birthday. Okay, so my birthday is what, 11 days before Halloween. So for me, it is still my birthday. I've never been this person, and then as something happened to me when I turned like 24, that like it then became like my birthday week, and then I now celebrate my it's really embarrassing. It's the cringiest, grossest thing about me. I celebrate my birthday all October, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I was never that person. I don't know when it happened, but I now celebrate my birthday all October, and it is my birthday month. It is Halloween. I still have Halloween decorations in my house, and my mom's like, "When are you gonna get rid of these?" I'm like, "No, those are permanent staples. What are you talking about? This is a Halloween house." Let me catch up. Like, blah, 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 the time it takes to order a drink made me rethink spending my favorite holiday in that space. That's the one thing I will 100% agree with you. Ordering a drink was a fucking nightmare. It took 30, 40 minutes each time. Um, so what we all started doing was just getting doubles. And I think next time I will drink. We will like pregame before we go out, because it was kind of a nightmare. And I do think if I go to Numbers again, I will more than likely go out a little bit earlier to get into that line, so I don't like waste my time trying to get into numbers later in the day. But and it's not this year, next year. Like, there's no way that I'm not going back to numbers on a Halloween. I will say it was crazier to get in there on Halloween than it was on New Year's. New Year's at numbers is phenomenal. It is how I spent my last, I think, 3 New Years. I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, I do remember now. So this last Halloween, I spent at numbers. The previous Halloween, I dressed as Finn the Human, and I ended up at Michael's Outpost. And that was because my ex best friend kind of fucked me over and like ditched me for his abusive narcissistic boyfriend. So I last minute was like, I'm going to Michael's Outpost. And then Sarah was like, I don't have nothing to do, I'll go with you. And so we ended up there. And I think she dressed as, that was the year that Jimmy Buffett died. So she dressed as Jimmy Buffett and just added a halo. Insane. Yes, I have so many stories about Barb's. Except for, here's the thing. They used to have me for a couple of reasons. Um they they used to sell $20 bottles of champagne. You would pay $20, they would hand you a full bottle of champagne, a standard bottle of champagne, and they would give you cups for all your friends. So I would get a bottle, give all of my friends a cup, pour out champagne for all of them, have half a bottle left, and I would just dance while holding a bottle, and it felt great. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. I loved it. If I could do that at every bar that I could dance at, I 100% would. The only place I was ever able to do that was Barb's, and I truly, truly enjoyed it. And I loved their emo night. Pre-pandemic, their emo night was amazing. I could just dance for hours and really, really, really fucking love it. It was great. And the DJ like playlist was like really fucking good. It was like deep cuts and like the mainstream shit. They did there's a thing that like people who don't know emo kids don't understand is that if you're going to be dancing to emo music, you do have to play Shake It by Metro Station. It is like a rule of the land. You just have to do it. Um, and there was like the light up floor, which recently I went there. The light up floor looks like shit now. They took out all the mirrors. That used to be my favorite place to dance. Was go find a corner, dance there, and I would just enjoy the fuck out of it. My friends don't like emo music. They only want to go to 80s night. Then go to Numbers. Numbers has a better 80s playlist. That's wild that they want to go to Barb's over Numbers, but they're going for 80s music. Go go to Numbers or go to the gay bars. I haven't been to, like I said, I haven't been to Ripcord since I quit, but they used to do like a whole 80s playlist for the first half of like all of their nights. It was really fucking annoying actually. Because they would call it a theme, but the theme would last every fucking day. And it was like, I don't know what this is. They would say that Fridays was their, I can't remember what they called it, but they started off with 70s music, went to 80s, 90s, and then 2000s, and then just everything else. But the 80s section of that always lasted forever. I doubt they're still doing it, but I kind of want to go one day just to see what the fuck is going on at Ripcord now. But I also don't want to be there because I have a lot of specific trauma going there now, which I could tell you off stream, but it's dark. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, Barbarella's. Post pandemic, I went to one of their first emo nights, or it was once everything started going back to normal. I went to an emo night there, and it was, I don't know if it was just because it was one of the first one. It was so packed, but everyone was just standing. Like, I don't even know, like, everyone was just like this. Like, everyone was just, like, clustered. And everyone was just standing straight up, holding a drink, arms crossed. Nobody dancing. nobody was dancing, and you couldn't move at all through it. You could not move. Like, and I was like trying to dance. If I'm going to a fucking emo night, I want to fucking dance. Um, and then on top of it, the there was a mosh pit. The guys in the mosh pit were very clearly younger than the emo demographic, which is fine, but they were clearly just trying to mosh and hurt people. They weren't really enjoying the music. They were just trying to be like, "Oh, isn't it fun to like hit people?" And they weren't letting like people. There were some people that were trying to dance that weren't dancing because these guys were just being so aggressive. And one of the like the non-spoken rules that I've always seen at any form of emo night, I've gone to emo nights out of Texas. I've done a couple of them in Texas. Is when "Shake It" by Metro Station comes on, the mosh pit usually dies and everyone just dances. Metro Station came on, everyone kind of looked like they were gonna start dancing, and then the mosh pit just started hitting everyone, didn't let anybody dance, and then everyone just stopped dancing again. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So a few years after that, they did a Crystal Castles and Grimes night. And I have always wanted to just be in a fucking club dancing to Crystal Castles. I'm a fucking skins millennial. I fucking love Crystal Castles. I've always have. So I went. That one was cool. That felt like the way I remember emo night being. I think it took a while for like Barb's to get back to what it used to be. But they raised the price of their champagne to $25. And I was like, okay, that's all right. It ruins that fantasy of like $20 champagne. I also get so drunk there. I get so drunk there. It's the only place that I get truly wasted whenever I set foot in there. Numbers, I don't get that bad. I do get drunk sometimes at Numbers. I never get as badly drunk as I do at Barb's. The reason is because I usually have champagne, and there used to be a bartender there that used to have shots for free for me because she said that I was like nice and I tipped. And I was like, do people not tip? And she goes, no, people don't drink here. She says people come dance and then they go to their car, drink in their car, and then come back. So they don't have to spend money on drinks. So that's why she was like, I always will have like free drinks for you. She doesn't work there anymore, but she was really cool. The last time I went recently for another Crystal Castles night. That champagne is now $35. And I'm like, that's not cool. I would be happy to pay $30. Something about $35 just pissed me off. I 30, sure, you can have my $30. $35 for some reason that extra $5 pissed me off. Fuck off. I was like, no. And then they were dead. It was dead in there. You're telling me I have to pay a cover to get in, $35 for the champagne. The DJ's not sticking to the fucking theme. No one's dancing. I don't know. I'm done. I don't. Barb's is not for me. Also, the amount of people that I know who've gotten into fights there, the amount of times that I have almost gotten into fights. One of my really best friends, Melissa, her boyfriend got attacked there. He defended himself. He got banned for like 3 years or something crazy. I can't. Also, the drinks at Numbers are cheap. The only thing I miss about the gay bars is the drinks were cheap. I do miss that. Like, I will give them that. But it's also like, the thing about the gay bars is a couple years ago when I was 24 to 25, and I started hanging out at the gay bars, is there was places to dance, kind of, sort of. The last couple of times I've kind of gone, like, during Ripcord, their dance floor has, like, dried out and died. There's nowhere to dance there. There used to be a place to dance there. I haven't been to Varsity, which used to be the Eagle. The dance floor upstairs always sucked. I don't know who that dance floor was for. It was so uncomfortable. I couldn't dance there. And I used to dance downstairs, but it was also weird. And then I refused to go to Blair. And then I've never had friends that wanted to go to South Beach, so I don't go to South Beach. I also like if I'm here's the thing. If I'm walking that direction, might as well go 2 extra blocks and go to Numbers. If I'm paying a cover, I'm going to Numbers. I'm a snob about bars. I would rather be at Numbers. Um, $10 for a half a shot and is fighting words. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. The reason I went to Barb's and enjoyed that champagne is because it felt like a deal. It felt like a reason to go. It felt like a reason to easily go. And also, it's less work for the bartenders to just hand me a bottle and then I can pour it out to all my friends. And it's also, supposedly, it's not strong. I personally get drunker on champagne than I do liquor and faster. I don't know. I don't know. And here's the thing, if I ever get dragged to Barb's again, I'm still getting the champagne. If someone drags me to Barbarella's, I am still getting the champagne. That being said, if it's ever hits 40, I'm fucking out. I'm done. I'm not stepping foot at Barbarella's ever again. I'm not. Because what do I order? Oh, I guess they have Red Bull there. I could get my drink. But like, I was like, what do I fucking order? I can't like. I want something to like. I don't know. I'm crazy. I'm weird. I'm also like probably undiagnosed OCD. So there's like a. I need like patterns and uh repetition. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Honestly, the first 20 times I went to South Beach, I literally got the stamp and never came back. I I went one time since the reopening, and I we went early because the group that I was with wanted to get the stamps before it got expensive, and um I it I don't know what happened. I left. I don't remember. I went somewhere else. We didn't stay. I don't remember what happened. I was probably with my shitty friend and his shitty boyfriend, and they probably left. So either they did something, we wanted to go home because they were being really weird, or I ditched everybody and went to Numbers. I couldn't tell you what happened that night. And what sucks too is I have a friend who was always at the bars, and if I wanted to, I could probably just tag along with him and have an excuse to go venturing out to the neighborhood again. I'm broke right now, and I don't live in Montrose anymore. I live near Hobby Airport, and I don't want to pay for an Uber. And I'm also like, if I get drunk, I don't want to be in an Uber to get back. And I don't have any friends who are like sober who will be like my caretaker, which sounds really shitty that I need a caretaker, but I'm fine taking turns. If I have a friend who's like, hey, you get drunk today, and then you take care of me when I get drunk next time, I'd be like, sure, that sounds great. I am the kind of person who likes to drink in the safety of friends. But the problem is I always end up taking care of everybody when that happens. Um, and the last few times that I do drink, I always have somebody that I can like stay with that's kind of over there. Not because I don't want to pay for the Uber here, which I also don't want to, but it's also because when I was younger, I used to get car sick if I wasn't in the front seat, and I'm nervous about being in a car drunk. I don't know, and I could be like I have a lot of anxiety, so I don't know. Um, my problem is I can't do the caretaker role. I all my friends can't either. I totally get you. One of my friends always like, yeah, I'll have you. I'll drive. Always gets drunker than me. Always gets wasted. I always have to be like, okay, I guess I'm gonna stop drinking because I'm gonna have to fight your keys out of your hand later. Last time I had a plan. I don't even remember who I was gonna. I don't. Oh my god, was that the night that I? No, that night I was alone. Okay, so I stopped drinking because my friend got wasted, and but I was already like pacing myself. I did get somewhat drunk. Um, she got so drunk. We got into an Uber because we were gonna drop off one of the people, and then my friend was like, "We gotta go to Waterburger," and I was like, "Okay, sure." She had sent the Uber to a Waterburger. they were closed. You can't go inside. And I was like, okay, bad idea. All right, let's just let's drop off my other friend at his house first, and then from there we can go to the other house. And then I am sober enough. I can drive us to a Whataburger, or we could Uber. We could do whatever you like, whatever. But we have to get home. She's like, no, no, we have to go to Whataburger first. I was like, bitch, we can't go to Whataburger. We're in a fucking Uber. And she then like we were in the fucking Uber, the Whataburger parking lot. And she's like, I'm gonna sit down. Sits down in the middle of the parking lot. I'm like, okay, there's still cars coming into the drive-through. I need to like move you over here. And that's the bitch who's supposed to be taking care of me when I get drunk. So like I can't. I I I'm great when it's my turn to be the babysitter, but I I need someone to also do it for me so I can be wild and out here. Cause but also I get very I'm a very particular flavor when I drink. I One of my favorite stories about myself is I didn't have any like people who drank in my life really, and I have had like depression since I was like 5, and I always heard like like alcohol is a downer and it like makes you more depressed and blah blah blah. So I used to when I was a kid pray that when I was old enough to drink that I would be a happy drunk. I legitimately prayed that I would be a happy drunk. And I I got my wish. I'm a very happy drunk. I'm a very like but the problem is like I want to do things when I drink or if I drink and I get nicotine in me, I do want to make out with somebody at some point. Like it is a whole thing that I just like I want to make out if I am drinking and like vaping or anything. Sometimes just drinking. And I think that's been one of the hardest things is like my ex-boyfriend never wanted to make out with me when I was drinking. And then being breaking up with him, I haven't found anyone to make out with when I'm drunk. Me and my friend, the queer woman, we were at a bar with our friends, like a large group of our friends, and I had like a friend that was with me, and I was like turning to him like, I'm making out with you or somebody. At the end of the night, I've had a rough fucking month. I am gonna get drunk. I am gonna make out with someone. And my female friend was like, I'm not an option. I was like, I'll make out with you. I don't fucking care. And she was like, no, you're too much of a pussy to make out with me. And I was like, I'll make out with you right now. And I'm not even that drunk. And so I made out with her. And then I realized she was wasted. Like she was already getting drunk. Later on, we talked about this. She hides that she's drunk so well that you don't know until it's too late. And so like an hour after all this happened, we were all like, oh, she's drunk now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I like tried to kiss her. She like didn't open her teeth. And she was like, you're not even trying. And I'm like, but you're drunk. Like you're wasted. You're the one who's like not even opening your fucking mouth right now. Like, it's I that was a crazy night. I had to go apologize to the DJ because she like gave him her shoes to hold so she could dance at one point. And yes, this is the same night as the Whataburger incident. You seem like a happy guy in general. I can be, but for the most part, I have very dark thoughts and I'm very depressed all the time. I don't worry. I'll nobly volunteer to make out with you when we're out. Yeah, that sounds fine. I'm down. That being said, I don't know when I'm going out soon. I have to like put some money to the side to like go to Mexico to work a bar. I don't know what I'm doing. But I need to go to Numbers soon. I haven't been in a while. I actually don't remember the last time I was at Numbers. But also, I am like really sad that like the vibe at Numbers is getting weird too. It used to be like really cool, like older people just enjoying the music. And there's been a lot of like under 21-year-old kids that are just like ruining the vibe because it's like a 18 up. place, and a lot of the straights are harshing the vibe there in a way that I find incredibly frustrating. Oh, what are you gonna do in Dallas? There's a I have a really cheesy reasons why I want to go to Dallas. I want to go to their art district, but I also really want to go. They have this like really cute art house theater there. Like if you think of like oh my god, what is the one in Houston called? The what is that theater called in Houston? Um, my brain is failing me right now. Fuck, what is that theater called in Houston? Um, for some reason, I can't think of what it's called. Um, but there's a theater that's really cute in Dallas that I've been really wanting to go hang out at and explore more. I found it when I went to go see a comedian that I love with my ex boyfriend, and we both like fell in love with this. Or I'm pretty sure he liked it too. I really, really fell in love with it, and we went the following day to see Deep Red because he loves that director, and I so so in love with that theater. Hey, y'all should go see a movie at that theater. um, what is the Houston one called? I was just there recently. I don't remember. Um, but I think about that place a lot. Yes, thank you. The River Oaks Theater. So it's the River Oaks Theater equivalent in Dallas. Basically, it's that same kind of vibe of just like picking movies, classic movies, and putting them out. Some like deep cuts, some classics, some what's the term? Cult classics. And it's really pretty inside, and the lobby's really cool, and the bar is cute, and they have live shows there, and I really really enjoyed it. I don't even know how I'm gonna find it when I go because I don't remember the name, but my I've been wanting to go visit Dallas just to go check out that theater. I also have like a really good time at the gay bars in Dallas, more so than I do in Houston, which is funny because they're kind of lame there. But I think it's because like I'm not in Houston, so I could just like I don't have to care about bumping into people. And I there's something about gay bars when you're fresh meat that people will just come up to you and be like, "I have never seen you before," and I'd be like, "I don't live here." They're like, "Oh, so you're not from here? Where are you from?" And they'll just start talking to you. And I love making small talk when I drink, so I I I like visiting Dallas, which is weird because I didn't go there that much until recently. What the hell? Okay, we're almost at okay, good. Alright, cool. So these swatches are done. I don't need to really make another one until I get the other yarn that I ordered. I'm tempted to work on the blanket, and I'm like, also I shouldn't because I'm gonna want to do a whole lap, and that's gonna take an hour, and I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna end the stream in like 10 minutes, so I'm not gonna do that. But I have my regular yarn swatches done now. That's great. It's 2 regular, 2 mixed. This is single single. This is double double. So I guess next stream I either need to start playing Resident Evil or I need to finish that blanket. So I don't know. The thing about the blanket now is that every row now takes a fucking hour. So I at least have like goals. Like I'll do like I'm gonna do 2 rounds each stream, or 1 round a stream, and then work on something else. Um, but it also then feels like I'm not doing anything, and it's also really funny that I'm just like I also get hot because I have so much of the blanket now that it like covers me, so I have to like angle how to work on it without getting like hot because I get hot too easily. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hitting a stride at like all of these projects. I'm really enjoying this like new wave. But also, I was really excited to play Resident Evil, and then I got this new kick, the second wind, to work on these projects, and now I just really want to work on all of them. I still can't believe how fast I made that blanket for my friend. I hope that I'm halfway done. It feels like I'm halfway done. I think it's more of a third of the way done, but yeah. I'm using Red Heart for it, so it's not that expensive, but I do feel like I'm gonna need a second round of yarn for it, and that's gonna be a whole thing. Because the colors are so specific, but that's fine. I'm enjoying where I'm at. And then I also I have yarn for this blanket that I just got. I have yarn for I want to do this red to black blanket thing, but the yarn for my side project here that I was testing out for this big project, apparently the yarn is like, I don't know what happened, but like I said it was rare, and then it canceled my order. Yeah, he's sweet. He's such a sweetheart. This is why, like, if Pugsley could just chill with me, it'd be fine. But he's losing his mind, and he couldn't hang. Vinny is always he's always chill. He's always cool. This needs to go in here, and the swatch is in here. So that's now together. At least scraps. Yeah, that's what Pugsley does. In addition to that, this whole side of the couch is covered in fur. So whenever I work on my friend's blanket, I don't let him come in here because I don't want his fur all over the blanket. And if I'm spending so much time and money and effort making this blanket for my friend, I don't want it covered in fur. And it looks so nice so far. I've been working really hard on not letting Pugsley get his fur all over it. So I feel bad that I'll then spend like 3 hours in here and he can't come in. There's also like, hey buddy, there's a lot of reasons why you can't come in here. And it's half of them are not his fault. Half of them are his fault, but you know, I can't control it. He can't control it. It is what it is. I didn't pay attention to any of this movie. It's the award ceremony now. I paid attention to like maybe the first 5 minutes and I missed everything else. It is just funny that some of the stuff is like really spacey, and then you just look at their pants and like, it's just regular slacks. There's regular pants. Also, if you ever want to make a Star Wars fan mad, tell him that the outline of the series was retconned. That originally it was just supposed to be the one movie, but then he had an idea to like stretch it out longer. It wasn't as planned out as he. Also, a lot of kids think that it was always came out as number 4. It wasn't. It was just New Hope that later on, or I don't even know if New Hope was originally attached to it. But that for some reason, whenever I start talking about like, oh, it's funny how they like decided to add these like numbers later. Star Wars fans always get mad at me, and I'm like, no, that like things changed. I unfortunately let my boy grow up sleeping with me, and he likes to sneak in when I'm asleep. That's funny. Um, if you have a way to clean fur, share sheets. Okay, well, I have my own washing machine right there, so I for my like my bedding, I legitimately just like will just wash. One of the biggest issues that I've been having though is he recently, right before we got Pugsley, started getting into like crackers, like biscuit treats, and I fight with him to not eat them in my bed, and he always wants to eat them in my bed. And I'm used to him always being in my bed. I didn't want Pugsley to be in my bed with me. I don't know why he instantly, instinctively was like, we're all sleeping in the same bed together, I guess. I was like, no, don't. And I couldn't get him to not sleep in my bed. And on nights where I can't spend an hour winding him down, I will just lock him in the living room. I will apologize and be like, hey, sorry, bud, I need to sleep. But then he'll cry, which is then another issue that I have to deal with. But for the most part, if everything is okay, if things are fine, I will let him sleep in the bed with me. Um, Vinny is covered in fur, has long fur. Pugsley has short fur, and Vinny's paws are like if I don't get if when he's not trimmed, his paws are like covered in fur. So you would think that he would track mud and dirt. He does not. Pugsley has short fur. He has just the pads. He tracks so much dirt into my bed. It is a constant fight that I am having with this dog. I have to constantly like sweep off my bed. I have to wash my sheets constantly now. I am a very particular type of OCD, and I sleep in my bed in a very particular way. And my friends who have seen it and my exes who have seen it all think it's crazy. They all think it's weird. I've had one person who was also neurodivergent see how I sleep in my bed and go, yes, 100%, I do that too. And I felt so seen. Um, but I now have abandoned that because the amount of washing that I have to do of my bed and my bedding is now just kind of like an onion. Where now what I'm doing is I have like blankets on the bed and the sheets, and I then it's like every 2 days have to peel off a layer, add that to the wash pile, peel off a layer, add that to the wash pile, peel off a layer, add to the wash pile, and then I will get my spare sheets, put them on, and then fix it. I then also something happened recently where I was changing the bedding in my room, and then I got sick. So I started sleeping in the guest room, and I've just gotten stuck in the guest room for a variety of reasons, and I don't know why I haven't gone back to my bedroom. I exclusively, for the past maybe like 2 months, have been sleeping in my guest room, and the guest room, and my bed is like properly up. the guest room, the mattress is just on the floor. But I have a rolling cart with a box TV and a VHS player and a Apple TV, and it feels very like uh weird and kiddish and vintage. And I've just been watching TV on that. Like last night, I watched Rick and Morty on this old box TV, and it's fine, nice. I enjoy it a lot. And my AC needs to be repaired, so I still have two window units, but I have central AC in this house. But there's a part that needs to be fixed. Um, so that room is cooler. The hottest room in this house when the central AC is not working is my bedroom. So I've just kind of gotten stuck in the guest room, and I don't know when I'm gonna go back to my bedroom. But my bed's more comfy. I don't know why. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I might actually switch the mattress. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I've landed in the guest room, which because it's funny too. Is because when I get sick, I make sure this couch is clean, and I just hunker down in this office because nothing makes me more uncomfortable than being hot. If I could be cold at all times, I would be cold. One of my friends also, quite a few of my friends make fun of me because if I'm at home and my ideal comfort is just what I'm wearing right now, or a hoodie. If I could live in a hoodie and be cold at all times, I would be happy. I have two modes. I have this and I have hoodie. And I love it. I love my boss always asks me, like, why do you wear a hoodie every day to work? And I'm like, for comfort. So I go from extremes of like wearing pants and a hoodie at work all day and then coming home and then like switching to this. But if during winter, I am just gonna be in like short shorts and a hoodie at all times. At all times. It's just no about what? What part is it? Oh no. Oh, I fucking love the cold. I cannot be hot. I become a monster if I get hot. I need to be cold at all times. Truly, truly, my ideal temperature of like my bedroom while I'm sleeping is like 69, if not colder. And then I'm gonna have the fan like right on me. But the counterpoint to that is I have recently, up until the recently when it started getting warm, have been sleeping with a heavy ass duvet, and I love it so much. I do get a little too hot with it, and Vinny gets a little too hot with it, but I like the weight. I really, really like the weight of like a heavy, heavy duvet. So like it's warm, but I need my face to be freezing. I need my face to be cold. I also like I would rather put on more clothes than raise the temperature of my house. I would rather be under a blanket. I love being under blankets and I love being under in a hoodie. I would rather get a blanket or put on more clothes than raise the temperature. I do not want to be hot. I don't want to be warm. I become angry and depressed and irritable when I'm hot. I cannot do it. My mom is the exact same way. My mom works in a hospital, so she thinks that's maybe what happened to her. And I was just raised in that environment too. I need to be cold. I need to be cold. I need to be cold, and I had to have access to a hoodie. I go to movies, and this is a weird thing that I do. I will take a hoodie with me, and I'll hold it just in case I want to bundle up while watching the movie. And 75% of the time, maybe 80% of the time, will not put on that hoodie. But if I go to a movie without it, I feel wrong. It doesn't feel right that I don't have a hoodie on me. I need the hoodie. Yes, same. Same. I cannot sleep without, excuse me, I cannot sleep without a blanket. I cannot sleep without a blanket. I need to have a blanket on me. And where that becomes problematic is Houston summers can be very hot. I live, I used to live the majority of my life with my grandparents. And because they're older and they're always cold, they always wanted to have heat up. And I always was on the second floor and heat rises. So my room would always be so hot. And so I would have a hard time sleeping in the summer because if I don't have a blanket on me, cannot sleep. If I am too hot, cannot sleep. So it was a weird thing of like, what do I do? I need a blanket on me to sleep, and I also have, which is another sign that I should have been diagnosed with autism. I have very particular blankets that I sleep with, that I need to sleep with. When I was dating my ex boyfriend, whenever I would go spend the night at his place, I would have to pack my blanket and my pillows because I don't need particular pillows, but I knew I do need a psychotic number of pillows in specific places around my body to sleep. Which it ended up not being the case when I would sleep with him. It was I was a little bit looser with that. That being said, I did need to sleep with my blanket, and oftentimes he would then sleep with my blanket as well, or we would do like a mixture of both, where I would put my blanket and then he would put his blanket on top, and then we would sleep both under. It was crazy. There's certain things that I'm like I should have been diagnosed, and I truly need if I travel, my blanket goes with me. I've bought a replacement because I figured out where it came from, and I've bought of I was gonna buy one, and then my friend was like, "Hey, fun fact, I have two of those exact brand blankets unopened. You can just have them." And I was like, "Yes, I was actually gonna buy them. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will take it." And it's just a different color. And I think the only difference is the one that I've had for so long that it's like so soft and nice, and I'm just waiting for the new one to wear out. Um, Actually, my real problem is I'm a TV on person, and nobody I've ever dated has ever been as well, and they act like they can't sleep with the TV on. Okay, I have very specific. I have a very specific thing about the TV being on. When I was a child, up into the age, why did I say up so weird? Up into the age of being maybe like 18 or 19, I always had the TV on when I slept. Always had the TV on. And then something changed, and then I became a darkness and silence guy. Don't know what happened. Maybe the Ritalin finally left my system. Um, but I it's weird because I'm actually kind of going back, but not as much now. I just want podcasts on. But I used to be a sitcom on while I try to sleep kind of guy. And then it would became a total silence. I want darkness. I want silence. I want my ex-boyfriend needed to have the TV on. Also, I learned a weird thing of like if you need the TV on while you go to sleep, it's a sign that you can't handle being alone. And I don't know if that's true, but that 100% was true about my ex. Um, and I recently learned that, and I was like, that's probably a bullshit statistic, but I don't know if I believe it, but I did hear that, and I did think about my ex and go, okay, that's that's probably that's probably not real, but like I do think it's funny that those two things aligned. Um, I was fine with it because I knew he needed it to sleep, and usually if I was over there, um, by the time we were going to bed, I was already sleepy enough that I was fine. I also like I slept so much better next to him than I did without him being there that it kind of balanced out. The TV would keep me up, but he would also put me to sleep, so it would like balanced a little bit. Um, my motherfucking issue with it though is if if you are gonna sleep with if you are gonna have someone sleep in a bed with you and you are going to be like, hey, I need the TV on to sleep. Can we not put something on in which the dialogue or the stuff in it is loud? Can we put something soft and quiet and chill on? Can we put like Adventure Time or um I don't know, like Lord of the Rings very silently, or um, he would put on stuff and then people would just be yelling at each other. And also, I was never a fucking I would say Gossip Girl. What's the show I'm thinking of? Gilmore Girls. I was never a Gilmore Girls girly. Okay, never watched it. Them bitches talk so loud and so fast, and he would have the TV on at like a normal volume, and I would just be like, "Oh my god, if they don't shut the fuck up." And I'm sure it's a fine show. I'm sure it's a good show. I have a lot of people who love the show. I I when I'm going to sleep, they sound so loud. They sounded so loud. Rory and Lorelai Gilmore became my enemies while I was dating this man, because why are they shouting at me while I'm trying to go to sleep? And why are y'all bitching so much about everything? I I truly I'm sure it's a good show. I don't want to hear them while I'm trying to sleep. I don't want to hear them while I'm trying to sleep. I also just like I get I get I get needing to have volume or something talking. We could turn it down. We could turn it down a little bit, but also like the music would be like here. The sound effects would be like here. Their voices would be up here, and they were talking so fast, and so it was really funny because one of my reactions was there was always jokes about them in the early 2000s, or like the mid 2000s. I don't know, like Family Guy and stuff would always talk about how they talk too fast. And I remember starting to date this guy, and he would put it on. I'd be like, they don't talk that fast. This is fine. When I was trying to sleep, and when my brain was shutting down, it was a level of energy that I didn't understand why it was hurting my brain so goddamn much. So goddamn much. I now, like, that show is like my enemy when the sun goes down. If it's the morning, if it's the afternoon, I don't care. It's fine. It's whatever. If if I am trying to sleep and I hear that theme song come on, I am instantly triggered and instantly taken to a place where I just want to punch somebody. I truly, I, I used to just be like, hey, can we, if you have to have the TV on, can we just do like one of those like lo-fi, like live channels playlist, something, please? 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 Anything? Anything. Okay, sorry, I'll come down for my rant and I will, look at what go back, please refer. Oh, okay, about me. Uh, when I was with my ex, I would just keep my AirPod next to the bed and take out my phone when he falls asleep. No, bitch, you putting on Broad City. Broad City, I think, would probably be fine. Okay, so here's the thing that I have learned with my new setup, because the other day my friend, we got drunk and she spent the night in my bed and I slept in the guest room because I said I haven't slept in my room, but I do have my bed made up. Um, so a couple of things. Like I said, I do podcasts to wind me down, but then I'm nervous that I'm gonna fall asleep and I'm not gonna turn off. So I have been doing my AirPod, and then when it falls out or if it dies, it automatically stops. I discovered something. Okay, if you have AirPods and you have an Apple TV, or there's a way to do this with Roku too. If you ever want to learn, I could tell you how to do this with the Roku. The Apple TV is what I'm using on my old box TV, and that's how I'm watching TV in my guest room, and I think it's really cute. And then I discovered I can connect my AirPods to the Apple TV, and if I have guests that are sleeping in my house, I can watch TV because I do in fact need to watch TV to wind myself down at the end of the night, and then I turn it off and I go to sleep. I don't leave it on. And here's the thing, I don't even think it's the sound. I don't care about the sound of the TV. I know I just complained about this fucking Gilmore Girls, but it's not the sound. I actually like sleeping with some sound on. It's the light. I like darkness. I think that is what you know what, I just said it out loud earlier. I think what happened is I burned my eyes, and now my eyes are sensitive to light. Because I was just saying something about like, yeah, maybe when I was like 19 or 18, that's when I went to fucking Warp Tour and damaged my eyes permanently. that that might be when the shift happened and I stopped liking lights on at night. Um, but I like sound. I don't like the lights on. I want to sleep in a dark void where I can just like listen to sounds and put me to sleep. Usually a podcast or an audiobook. Although I'm re-listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl right now because the new one's coming out and I want to be refreshed. And I made the mistake of falling asleep and had to go back 10 chapters when I woke up this morning, which is a mess, but it was fine. God damn, Gilmore Girls. Yeah. I don't know what I was saying. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna let the boys out, and I'm gonna probably have a snack, and probably go play my Switch for a little bit before I go to bed, because I've picked up an old game that no one ever wanted to play with me, and it is pretty much just like a weird neurospicy thing that I've got into. I'm too embarrassed to talk about on stream in particular. But thank you for joining. Thank you for chatting. This was nice and helpful. Um, I probably I am stuck in this rut of only wanting to crochet on stream, but I do need to fucking pick up Resident Evil and get back on that track. I just like saw something. I was like, I think I bought that. If I borrowed it, I need to look at that and see where that movie came. It's too late. If it's not mine, it's too late. I don't talk to that person anymore. Yeah. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm also like hungry and mildly overstimulated. Okay, you message me. I'll tell you. I think the advertisement for him might still be on the Ripcord Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. They used to post him in the story, being like, he's gonna be in our bar, he's gonna be selling his shit. He was selling something for a while. I was already probably saying too much about who it is, but if that man doesn't have any haters, then I'm fucking dead. I fucking hate him. He was a huge fucking narcissist. And he was rude to everyone, and he thought everybody loved him. I fucking hate that man. Yeah, if he doesn't have any haters, then I'm fucking dead. Also, some of the stuff that he said to me specifically and directly should have been crimes. Should have been just the verbal shit that he said to me in front of customers should have got him fired. It was... He has no haters. I'm fucking dead. Also, another example. So, he was doing a lot of stuff. Everyone knew, and I have to assume that all his boyfriends know too, he cheated on everyone he was with aggressively in front of everyone. Like, he was not hiding the fact that he was cheating on his fiance. His fiance. In public, in front of everyone. While people were like, awful person. Awful fucking person. And of course, he, like, his fiance broke up with him. He had someone already lined up to date right after. And I was like, why is it always the cheating assholes who have multiple people lined up? Like, I'm sorry, I've been single for what? Like, I think approaching a year and a half? I don't know. And I think about all these people who are like chronic cheaters, who are also never single, who publicly have been like awful, and I'm just like, what what is going on that the people who treat people like shit always have somebody lined up? Always have somebody lined up. Okay, I won't answer on stream if it's correct or not, but can you tell me who who you think it is. Which I don't think they haven't. I don't know if they've been as public in the bars in the past couple of years. But if you're right, I'm gonna say you're wrong, and then I'll tell you afterwards if you were right. But I do want to know who you're thinking of, because there's also a second person, now that I'm thinking of it, that it could be, that probably is still popular on the scene and kind of went crazy in a different way. No, so not okay. Actually, there's a third person. There is another person in Montrose who has I don't know who you're talking about actually now, but there is a white man in Montrose who has also worked at bars, who has also sexually assaulted multiple people, and multiple people have talked about it, and like even my ex like reposted some of his things. I'm like, hey, what the fuck, that dude sexually assaulted my friend. I know from like 1 degree of separation some of the people that he's harmed, who still does a lot of like the fundraisers and shit in Montrose. And I truly don't understand how nobody has any accountability for any of this shit. Because everyone has to know I'm not a nosy bitch. I avoid getting into people's business, and yet I know dirt on these people because everyone knows. But the thing about it in Montrose, if you ever talk about someone doing something bad, it doesn't matter what degree. People are like, "Oh, you just need to let it go. We don't talk about that. We just let shit go here. I don't understand why you care." It's like, why? You mean you're asking me why I care about someone's assaulting people in our community? That's why I stopped involving myself in the community, the quote unquote community. There's an outer community that doesn't involve the bars that is good in Houston. I don't want to say that there's not a good gay community in Houston. I'm specifically talking about the bar culture and the people who worked at the bars, who like to pretend that there is like a good, healthy community where they all have each other's back. Because they all brag about how they all care about the community when they work at the bars. They don't. They just want you to fucking tip them. They just want your fucking money. And so because they know, when I was working there, and what I've seen afterwards, because there was like this movement of being like hyper woke and hyper... Why is there a thumbs up? What's happening? How has that not happened this entire time? Thing, which I'm not saying that woke culture is bad. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say this is their idea, that because of certain things that was happening politically, they started preaching while I was working there how we all need to have each other's backs. Like, y'all don't have anyone's backs. Y'all don't give a fuck. I hated it. Because I am that kind of person. I love the idea of everyone being a part of a community and everyone having each other's back. That's what I want. That's what I was looking for. And I learned that they all couldn't give a fuck less. They couldn't give a fuck less. And I have like another story that I will not say again on stream, of something that happened both while I was working there and when I left, that truly, truly soured my opinion specifically on Ripcord and everyone that was working there, in a way that I asked, like, what do you mean y'all didn't fucking do anything? Because I had left and something happened and I came back and I was like, hey, what the fuck happened? And someone told me the story and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with all of you? What the fuck is wrong with all of you? Like, I truly was like, y'all, no. But one of the guys' names starts with a D, the other one starts with a T. I will just like straight up throw that out there. Like, I don't know. So one of them actually, that's not true. I was gonna say I never interacted with the other one, the one that assaulted my friend. That's not true. I actually worked with him once because I think I don't know if I'm mixing this up. I want to say they were a drag queen for a while, and I was photographing a show, and I think he was like, "Hey, we're gonna make sure we all tip you." And he never tipped me out. He never gave me $1. But he was messaging me on Instagram for the pictures, I think, and I think I made sure I sent them to him, or he sent me a thank you or something. He was asking if I would do work for him, and then later on, I saw a lot of the shit that he did, and I was like, ooh. So I actually have, I was gonna say I've never talked to that person. I think I actually have talked to that person quite a bit. I just didn't know because he was in drag at the time. So I didn't know that that was him. And so later on, when all that shit happened, I didn't realize that was him. And then later on, someone was telling me, we were talking about him, and they pulled up his Instagram. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize that was him because I've only seen him in. Whenever I communicated with him, was in drag and it wasn't out of drag. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't. I haven't been in the gay bars really. I used to be there a lot. I haven't really done that in like the past 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised if there's different people who are now making their way doing the exact same shit these people did. But what's crazy is the two guys that I'm talking about that have done a lot of like these bad things. Um, they're older. I think they're both. One of them I think is maybe only 5, 8 years older than me. The other one I think is 10, 9, much older than me. Like, they are older than I am, and so I can't say like, oh, I like outaged that. I blah blah blah. Like I these people are. Cause I was gonna say like maybe there's like a newer, younger group that came in, but the guys that I'm talking about were already like significantly older than I was when I was there. And one of them for sure, the older one, is still in. I don't know if they're working at a bar, but they're still always in the bar scene, and I'm always seeing people post pictures of them, and they're always posting pictures of them. And I think both of these people have tried starting OnlyFans unsuccessfully. like, I, I don't think either of them have successfully started an OnlyFans. I think both of them have tried. I think one of them has a decent following. I think the other one might. I don't know. I haven't looked into them. But it's funny how one of them is like a huge star. Oh my god, I can tell. I don't want to tell this story because if anyone was there that night, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about with this story. But I'm trying to think if it's safe to say or not. He went on a rant about how he was so cool that he deserved blank. I'll tell you later. But everyone was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm like so cool. I deserve blank. And we were just like, what? And I was like, I'm not at a high enough position in this bar to be like, shut the fuck up, you're a fucking idiot. But I think I did. I looked at him and was like, you're crazy. And then the other person that was working there was like, you're an idiot. That sounds so dumb. And the other one that was being nice to him was just like, okay, honey, sure. And we were all just like, this guy cannot be for real. And he started talking about it when we were opening the bar, and he brought it up when we were closing the bar, and we were all just like, what the fuck? You cannot be serious. This man is fucking crazy. Crazy. No. And I know for a fact, I have very specific reasons why I hate this person and why I argue that he is a criminal and why he shouldn't be allowed to sell his wares or make any money off those fucking gay bars. And he still tries. He's every now and then I'll see Ripcord post something where he's like selling shit out of Ripcord. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? What the fuck are y'all doing? This is fucking insane. But okay, sorry, I'm gonna end stream. That rat just came out again. Message me and I'll tell you who that is. But yeah, I have stories. There's also I'm gonna say one more thing. There was somebody that I hung out with for like maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month. That is at the time notorious or infamous in the gay scene for being somewhat messy. He was really nice to me. I was really nice to him. It wasn't until after we hung out that he became kind of a nightmare to see because he would always kind of accost me. I always wonder, because I hear stories, because I don't go. I still hear stories. If he's still up and down the bars, he's also actually have had like successful things come out of being that messy person. And the thing about him is he is as messy as he is and as chaotic as he was, one of the kindest people you could ever meet. When he gets drunk, it's obnoxious, but truly one of the nicest people you could meet. And there are multiple people who I've talked to about other things, and this person comes up, and I then have to explain that I had a like week-long fling with this person that was pure chaos. Could have been a movie, just that 1 week of just like thing after thing after thing after thing after thing that happened. And then how it ended was really dumb and stupid. Um, but I still hear stories. I was hanging out with someone who was, I think he's 25, and we were staying out, we were having fun, blah, blah, blah. He has stories about this person, and I was like, that's so crazy that you are younger than me. You don't go to the gay bars that much. You've only gone a couple of times, and you got dragged into drama with this person from three or 4 degrees being removed. Like, he met this person had drama with this person had drama with this person, and this was the chaos vortex that I hung out with. And his shit is so crazy that it spreads. Like the environment that this person has created for himself. And when I was there, I realized, and I called him out. I was like, you love this chaos. You fuel the flame that it spreads so rapidly. And so I was interacting directly with him. But I then learned that like that shit spreads. And every like if you're hanging out with anyone who's associated with that person, things are gonna be crazy because they all want to just like flock together and they all get involved and they all like are it. I should add. Oh, sorry. So I have dyslexia. So I read that I skipped words, and in my head that read for a second. You should add ADD, the ADD tag to your stream, and I was like, I should add the ADD tag to my stream. I was diagnosed. Um, yes, yeah. We can talk about this more later, and I could tell you names once I end the stream because I need my phone is what my camera is. But thank you for joining. Thank you for the conversation. I will talk soon. I will be back soon on stream. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna do another crochet stream or restart Resident Evil, but